Okay, so I'm just going to show you some really quick stitches that make up a really fast pattern. It's nothing new, it's just single, double, and triple crochet, or I probably won't do triple. And it's nothing fancy. I'm assuming you already know how to do basics of crochet, so I'm just going to show you this really quick pattern. So I'm making my loop, put it on my hook. Okay. And I'm going to be making 7 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And the reason I did 7 is because I'm going to have 6 stitches going up, and I recommend an even number of stitches, so you'll want to make an odd number of chain stitches, because we're just going to start with the single crochet. If you want to start with double crochet, then that's I can show you that later. Okay, so we're going to skip the first stitch or chain stitch next to the hook and work into the second one. And I'm going to turn it over and I want to work into the little bumps that are on the back side. So I'm skipping that one. So I'm working into this bump here. Okay, and that's the first single crochet. I like to grab the little bump and hold it so that I can get my hook into it. Sometimes it makes it easier. Okay. And then one more. Okay, so I've made 6 stitches going forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to start by doing the double crochet after this first foundation row. So to do that, we need to chain up 3 to bring the yarn up to the level of the double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to turn it so that now we're working in the opposite direction. Okay, and then we're going to work into the first stitch next to that chain. And if you could see the V, here's my chain. This is the V I'm going to work into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so first to do the double crochet, you yarn over once and you work into that first stitch, and then you bring your yarn through and you have 3 loops on there, and yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2 again. Okay, now it's always a little awkward the first few stitches because they are a little warped from your working them, but it ends up with you having the 2 crochet, double crochet right next to each other. So you can continue working in each stitch the double crochet, and of course double crochet is a pretty quick stitch by itself because it's a longer stitch than single crochet, and of course I'm doing it wrong. So using just the double crochet, you can work it up faster than, of course, the single crochet. So I'll work across and do all double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we got one more to do. And I crochet a little tightly, so sometimes those end stitches are difficult for me. Okay. All right, so now I've done a row of double crochet. So here is our singles, here is our doubles, and we still have 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we're going to chain up again to do another row double. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're turning it again, and this time instead of working into that first stitch, normally we would yarn over, work into the first stitch, and keep going to do double crochets. But instead, we're going to chain a stitch extra, because that's going to be our linking chain. And then we're going to skip that first stitch and work into the next stitch, just a regular double crochet. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, or skip a stitch, going into the second stitch, and then do that regular little double crochet. Now we have a hole. So we have the first, if I can get it so we can show it better. So there's our first double crochet. We had the linking chain stitch, and then we have our next double crochet. So we have a little square hole right there. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to chain 1, skip that very next stitch and go into the second. Oh, I forgot to yarn over, of course. Yarn over, go into that stitch, and then do your double crochet normally. Okay, so now we have the 2 little holes next to each other. And then we're going to do one more chain, and then do another double crochet into the last stitch, which again for me is sometimes difficult because I tend to make them tight. And I'm missing it. There we go. Okay. Then our regular double crochet. Oh, and I dropped my stitch. Okay, there we go. All right, now we have, I'll take it off the hook really quick. So now we have a row of single crochet at the bottom and a row of just double crochets, and then we have double crochets where we skipped every other one, and now we have little holes in there. So you can go from here and you can keep doing skipping, or you can work another row of double crochet and make the holes every other row, but just by skipping those little stitches you can work up a blanket faster than if you just did the crochets one after another. This is nothing new, but it's just a method that some people might find helpful. So if you want to keep going, then you can do what you would normally do, work up another double crochet chain. So 1, 2, 3, and then if you want to keep doing the skipping the stitch, you're going to do the same thing you were doing before. So you already have chain 3, so we're going to do one more chain and then skip that first stitch that's over top of the middle of the hole, and go on to this next bar that you made. So it's right there. So you're just going to make a double crochet in the same spot, and you're going to continue having little squares that line up. And we're going to do chain 1 and then work into that next double crochet, chain 1. Oh, of course I missed it. Okay, and then skipping that little one here, and we're going to work into that last one there. Okay. All right, so I'm not the you know, super best at crochet. I don't claim to be you know, very neat when I crochet. It's not my first hobby, but it's something I do sometimes. So now I did do a little bit already with some chunky yarn that I can just show you the results of. And so this is, this I think is super bulky. The kind I used was, I just grabbed this just to show you guys. It's this Loops and Threads Cozy Wool. I got it from Michael's, and they label it as super bulky, so it's a number 6, and they recommend a 9mm hook or a US M13. I used a 10mm N, so mine was a little bit bigger than necessary, but it's, you know, you can use it a little bigger if you want. If you use a bigger hook than what's suggested on the yarn, then you'll end up with larger stitches, which if that's what you want to do, then you could end up with an even faster workup. So this is actually just 3 rows with the super bulky yarn. I did the chain, and I did just 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I just did the single crochet, and then I did the same stitches that I did before on the red yarn. So I did a double crochet, skip, double crochet, skip, and across, and then I did a third. And so this is just 3, even with just the single crochet in there and not having 3 rows of double crochet, you can obviously see how much bigger it would be, you know, already. So this would be a good, you know, super chunky or chunky yarn is obviously really good to use if you want a super fast blanket or a scarf or something, and you can still use the same stitches. They even have really big yarn nowadays. It's a little more trendy, where it's you would need, this is my biggest hook, and for some of those yarns that are really, really big, you know, like the size of my finger or something, you would need a hook that's even larger than that. So, you know, keep that in mind. If you see really, really big yarn and you would love to make a blanket or something out of it, then you still need a larger hook to deal with that. So, okay, so I guess that's all I had to show you. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Again, I'm not really showing you anything new or special, or, you know, like I didn't invent this. It's just something that can be used to be really fast and, you know, for just, you know, like pet blankets or a quick scarf that, you know, maybe you need a scarf or something, or even little like coasters or whatever. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. So thanks very much for watching, and like and subscribe if you want. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.